Talksport this morning, folks, again on at Manchester United and Eric Ten Hag. They're dissecting it as they do on an almost daily basis there. United go out to the Champions League last night with a whimper, and they were right in many things that they said, but there's a few things that I thought that they didn't take into consideration at all and that they were quite wrong about. They also mentioned Declan Rice and Harry Kane. Now, they said Rice and Kane wouldn't want to go to United. It wouldn't have been the way forward for them. They wouldn't have been interested at all because of United's falling stock. I agree with them on Rice. I think Rice, as somebody said, I think Danny Murphy might have said it, is a London boy. Wanted to stay in London. Didn't want to uproot his family. Wanted to be near his wider family. I think he was always Arsenal bound. I think he made that clear early on. Harry Kane, absolutely no problem. And we have offered 120 million, although Levy didn't want him to go to another Premier League team, and especially not United. And he might have made us wait till the end of the transfer window. We would have had Harry Kane. We might have gone for 100. 120, definite. Kane wanted to come. Don't listen to what anybody says. He's happy to have gone to Germany in the end, but he wanted to stay in GB. And he knew he could break records at Manchester United and improve the team. We would have gotten him. But we had a couple of issues. One was Daniel Levy. Two was waiting for Daniel Levy to make up his mind. And three, and this is the big reason, is the FFP. We were struggling for cash, and if we'd have got Kane, it'd have probably been all eggs in one basket, and we wanted more than one player. And once we signed a player or two, we thought we got Mount at a decent amount, and people like that earlier on in the window, it meant we couldn't then go for Kane. But United wanted him, and I believe he wanted to come and would have come. But we cocked up. We should have set our stall for him and made him our only signing in the transfer window, because the people we brought in haven't made it any better. The other thing I would like to mention before we go into last night's game is, and one of the callers said it on TalkSport, the injury list that we've got at the moment is horrific. It's been horrific virtually all season. Now, all right, the guy said it when calling in, and Danny Murphy said, no, in some of the games you lost, you had him, and you had him. And look, we've had people in and out all season. We've not had our best back four, the back four Ten Hag will pick. We've got a goalie that's come in and struggling unbelievably, as De Gea did at the start, although even worse than De Gea. I'm still out on the goalkeeper. I'm really not sure about him. As I say, a back four that sort of aren't playing together, so aren't getting used to one another. And from there, we've got a problem. And then you go right to the other end of the field, the forward line, when you're playing people like Rashford and Iggy, who won't work, who don't press, and who don't sort of run back, you've got all the problems coming in your midfield. The midfield aren't coping, and then it's going on to the defence. And we've lost players in the midfield. Kobe, who looks a superstar in the making, an absolute superstar, has been injured for the first 2-3 months of the season, and Casemiro's been in and out of the team and missing for a while. So it's been ridiculous. None of that has helped. But going to last night's game, the reason we got knocked out last night was, as many have discussed, the previous games. You can't go ahead 3-1 and draw the game. You've got to shut up shop. They didn't do that. Last night against Bayern, what did they do, especially first half? They shut up shop against an even better team. All right, Bayern are playing for nothing, but they played some really good football, had the bulk of the possession, the bulk of the chances, the bulk of shots on target. We played well. We played well up to a point, but offensively we offered absolutely nothing. Rasmus looked pretty poor, but that said, again, he's had no service whatsoever. He tends never to get any service at this club at this moment in time. The difference would be Kane doesn't need as much because Kane can create a lot for himself by either dropping deep or he's got a good head on him and everything else, and he creates more for himself. But Rasmus is a young kid finding his feet. You know, he's in a brand new environment, massive price tag, and the ball he's not being found in space with early ball. That isn't down to Rasmus because he's making runs after run after run. They're just not finding him. The wingers at the moment aren't good enough. They're not doing the job correctly. But again, based on last night, we played reasonably well. I do know if we'd have gone at them more, they had other gears and they would probably have pulverised us. We kept it to 1-0. But what I will say is, if we can show that kind of composure in that first half as we did last night, why couldn't we show it when winning 3-1 on 2 occasions? Because just one of those being a victory instead of a draw would have probably put us through, I would imagine. I'm pretty sure it would have done. Just absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. And the fact that we went out last night with a whimper, all right, if we'd have done what we did for 45 minutes up to 60, 65 minutes and then went for them, it'd have been fine. If they'd beat us 2 or 3-0, it'd have been fine as long as we had a go at them. But to not have a go seems absolutely crazy. And I've always been for Eric. I've always been for him. I've always batted for him. Then I turned against him about 4 or 5 weeks ago. And then only a week, 10 days later, I'm thinking maybe I'm a bit hasty. Maybe we don't want to pull the trigger. But when I look at that last night and I look at the European campaign and I think, well, we've done everything ass about face. We've got big leads. Carried on playing on the front foot and not protected the leads, which is just totally alien to what you need to do, especially in Europe. And then last night, when we need to win, we've protected what we never had because we weren't going through anyway, and we've played that way all the way through the game, been really, really passive. Never gone for them at any time during the course of the game. Well, how are you going to get through? How are you going to qualify when you know you've got to win without trying to win? We didn't do that. We just tried not to get beat. 1 point last night wouldn't have done us. We had to win. We offered nothing. So it makes me think, what is Eric coaching? Man, don't get me wrong, we had problems again last night. Two defenders, two of the main defenders over the last few months, in Shaw and Maguire, both gone off. You know, which just adds to our woes. But you look at it and you think, what's going on? What is going on? It's an head scratcher. You know, am I pleased we've gone up the Champions League? No, I'm not. Am I pleased we're not in the other league? Yes, I probably am. Does it give us a chance to concentrate on the league, you know, Premier League? Yes, it does. Have we got the wherewithal to get in the top 4? Well, possibly yes. But we need lots and lots of players back, and then we need a game plan. We need to score early, protect leads, and hopefully get a lot of 3 points. And we need, if we're not going to get the 3 points, to at least get the single points. We're great that we've had no draws, but unfortunately, the fact we've had no draws means we've either won or lost. We've had lots of losses. We've got to turn some of them losses into points. But there is hope for us. But based on what we've seen in the Champions League, you'd worry. You'd really, really worry. And as for this weekend, well, you just don't know, do you? You really, really don't know. But Kane, would he have come? I'm almost certain he would have come. Rice, I don't think that was ever on. Really don't. And I do think we'd have been in a better position at this moment in time had we got old Harry Boy. I really do. Bayern is certainly prospering from the fruits of what he's doing for them. There's no doubt about that.